Hello, everyone. Today we will delve into the prelude of the Trojan War. This war is a grand epic interwoven with history and mythology, featuring numerous heroes and gods. Let's follow the beginning of this story, centered around Homer's Iliad. Everything begins at a grand banquet of the gods. All the deities are present to celebrate the wedding of Peleus and Thetis, the parents of Achilles. However, Eris, the goddess of discord, was not invited. To stir up trouble, Eris throws a golden apple into the midst of the festivities. This apple bears the inscription, "To the fairest." Immediately, Hera, the goddess of marriage, Athena, the goddess of wisdom, and Aphrodite, the goddess of love, begin to quarrel over who deserves the apple. Zeus, the king of the gods, is reluctant to make this decision himself, as he knows it will lead to further discord. Instead, he delegates the decision to Paris, a young prince of Troy known for his fairness and beauty. Paris is living a simple life as a shepherd on Mount Ida, unaware that this decision will alter the course of his life and the fate of his city. Each goddess approaches Paris with a tempting offer. Hera promises him immense power and the kingship over all of Asia. Athena offers him unparalleled wisdom and skill in war, ensuring victory in every battle. Aphrodite, however, offers him the love of the most beautiful woman in the world, Helen of Sparta. Despite the grand offers from Hera and Athena, Paris is swayed by Aphrodite's promise of love and beauty. He awards the golden apple to Aphrodite, setting off a chain of events that will lead to war. With Aphrodite's help, Paris travels to Sparta. Helen, the wife of King Menelaus of Sparta, is renowned for her extraordinary beauty. Aphrodite's influence ensures that Helen falls deeply in love with Paris. Together, they escape to Troy, an act that enrages Menelaus. Feeling humiliated and betrayed, Menelaus vows to retrieve his wife and restore his honor. Menelaus calls upon the Greek kings to honor their oaths, which they had sworn years before to protect the marriage of Helen. Agamemnon, the powerful king of Mycenae and brother of Menelaus, agrees to lead the expedition. The Greek kings, including Odysseus, Achilles, and Nestor, gather a massive fleet at Aulis, ready to sail to Troy. This fleet, consisting of about 1,000 ships, is an unprecedented show of force. However, the winds are unfavorable, preventing the fleet from setting sail. The seer Calchas reveals that the goddess Artemis is angry and demands a sacrifice. Agamemnon faces a heart-wrenching decision. To appease Artemis, he must sacrifice his own daughter, Iphigenia. Torn between his duty as a father and his duty as a leader, Agamemnon ultimately chooses to sacrifice Iphigenia, showcasing the brutal and tragic nature of the impending war. With the sacrifice made, the winds change, and the Greek fleet sets sail. The journey to Troy is long and arduous, but the Greeks are determined. Upon reaching the shores of Troy, they encounter fierce resistance. The first battle is a chaotic and bloody clash, with heroes on both sides demonstrating immense bravery and skill. Hector, the noble prince of Troy, leads his warriors in a valiant defense, while Achilles, the greatest of the Greek warriors, fights with unmatched ferocity. The initial battle sets the tone for the long and grueling war ahead. The Greeks establish a beachhead and begin a prolonged siege of the city. As the first year of the war drags on, both sides suffer heavy losses. The Greeks and Trojans are locked in a brutal stalemate, with neither side able to gain a decisive advantage. The gods themselves take sides in the conflict, further complicating matters. Hera, Athena, and Poseidon support the Greeks, while Apollo, Artemis, and Aphrodite aid the Trojans. The toll of the war begins to show. Soldiers on both sides experience the horrors of battle, witnessing the deaths of comrades and the devastation of the land. The commanders hold councils to devise new strategies, realizing that this conflict will not be quickly resolved. The war's impact extends beyond the battlefield, affecting the lives of those left behind. Families mourn the loss of loved ones, and the hope for a swift resolution fades. Thus begins the prelude to the Trojan War. This epic conflict, sparked by a single act of judgment, will see the rise and fall of many heroes. In the next episode, we will explore the destinies of these heroes, their triumphs, and their tragedies. In the second part of our series on the Trojan War, we will explore the fates of the heroes involved. The war brings out both the best and the worst in these legendary figures. Let's delve into their stories. As the war rages on, a major conflict arises within the Greek camp. Agamemnon, the leader of the Greek forces, seizes Briseis, a captive and Achilles' war prize, claiming her as his own. This act ignites Achilles' fury. The tension between them has been brewing, as Agamemnon and Achilles have clashed over matters of pride and authority. Agamemnon's action is the final straw for Achilles, who feels his honor has been deeply insulted. In a heated confrontation, Achilles demands the return of Briseis, but Agamemnon refuses, asserting his authority. In response, Achilles withdraws from the battle, taking his Myrmidon warriors with him. This decision is catastrophic for the Greek forces, as they lose their most formidable warrior. The morale of the Greek soldiers plummets, and they face heavy losses on the battlefield without Achilles' leadership. With Achilles absent from the battlefield, the Greeks struggle to maintain their momentum. The once confident and driven soldiers now face a rising tide of despair. Their morale continues to sink as they watch their comrades fall and their enemies gain ground. Amidst the chaos, other Greek champions step forward to fill the void left by Achilles. Odysseus, known for his cunning and strategic mind, devises plans to bolster their defenses. Ajax the Great, with his immense strength, fights valiantly to protect his fellow warriors. Diomedes, fueled by his fierce bravery, cuts through the Trojan ranks, earning him glory and respect. Yet, despite their efforts, the Greeks cannot fully compensate for Achilles' absence. On the Trojan side, heroes like Hector, Aeneas, and Sarpedon lead their warriors with valor and determination. Hector, in particular, shines as a beacon of hope for the Trojans. His leadership and prowess inspire his troops to press the advantage. He strikes fear into the hearts of the Greeks with his relentless assaults, proving himself to be a worthy opponent to any who dare face him. The war drags on, bringing immense pain and sacrifice to both sides. Families are torn apart, cities are ravaged, and countless lives are lost. The constant bloodshed takes its toll, and the battlefield becomes a grim testament to the horrors of war. Heroes on both sides endure unimaginable suffering, driven by their sense of duty, honor, and the hope of victory. The gods, ever interested in the affairs of mortals, intervene frequently in the conflict. Zeus, Hera, Athena, Apollo, and others take sides, manipulating events to favor their chosen champions. Their divine interventions often escalate the brutality of the war, as they lend their powers to turn the tide in favor of either the Greeks or the Trojans. Mortals find themselves as pawns in a larger cosmic game, their fates intertwined with the whims of the gods. Hector's leadership becomes the cornerstone of Trojan resistance. His courage and strategic acumen push the Greeks back, bringing several victories for Troy. The Greek forces, though battered, mount a fierce defense, determined not to let Troy's walls breach easily. The tide of war seems to favor the Trojans until the fateful day when Patroclus, Achilles' beloved friend, dons Achilles' armor and enters the battle. Hoping to inspire the Greeks and intimidate the Trojans, Patroclus fights bravely, but ultimately meets his demise at the hands of Hector. The death of Patroclus is a turning point, a moment of profound grief and rage for Achilles. Achilles' sorrow transforms into a burning resolve for revenge. He emerges from his self-imposed exile, driven by an unquenchable thirst for retribution. His return to the battlefield reignites the spirit of the Greek army, and they rally behind their most formidable warrior. The stage is set for the epic duel between Hector and Achilles. Both warriors, embodying the pinnacle of heroism for their respective sides, clash in a battle that will decide the fate of many. Their fight is fierce and unrelenting, each blow echoing with the weight of their personal vendettas and the hopes of their people. In a dramatic and tragic climax, Achilles overpowers Hector, ending the Trojan hero's life. Achilles' rage does not subside with Hector's death. Instead, it drives him to desecrate Hector's body, dragging it around the walls of Troy. This act of vengeance shocks both the Greeks and the Trojans, highlighting the brutal reality of war. However, in a surprising turn of events, Priam, the aged king of Troy and Hector's father, bravely approaches Achilles to plead for the return of his son's body. Priam's heartfelt plea and the sight of his grief-stricken fatherhood stirs something deep within Achilles. In a moment of compassion and humanity, Achilles agrees to return Hector's body, allowing Priam to give his son a proper burial. As the dust settles, the fates of the heroes involved in the Trojan War begin to take shape. Some will find glory, others will meet tragic ends, and the war itself will continue to weave its tapestry of heroism, sacrifice, and sorrow. Join us in the next episode as we explore the continuing saga of the Trojan War, delving deeper into the lives and destinies of its legendary heroes. In the final part of the Trojan War series, we will witness the dramatic fall of Troy. This chapter is filled with deceit, heroism, and ultimate tragedy. The death of Troy's greatest warrior, Hector, delivers a severe blow to the Trojans. After a fierce battle with Achilles, Hector meets his end, bringing deep sorrow and a sense of loss to the Trojans. The Greeks plan to steal the sacred statue of Palladium, which the Trojans believe protects their city. Odysseus and Diomedes take on this dangerous mission. They sneak into the city at night, avoiding the guards and climbing the walls. Their goal is to undermine Troy's defenses by taking this revered object. Odysseus and Diomedes carefully enter the temple and locate the Palladium. They move swiftly, avoiding the temple guards, and finally secure the statue. This theft is a significant psychological blow to the Trojans, further demoralizing them. The weary Greek army devises a cunning plan to infiltrate Troy. Odysseus suggests building a giant wooden horse to hide soldiers inside, tricking the Trojans into bringing it into their city. The horse is to be presented as a sacred offering, lulling the Trojans into a false sense of security. Under Odysseus's direction, Greek craftsmen begin designing the horse. It is to be large enough to hold several soldiers and crafted to appear as a divine offering. The exterior is meticulously designed to convey the Greeks' supposed tribute to the gods. The construction of the horse is a detailed process. Carpenters use sturdy timber to build a robust structure, adding intricate carvings and decorations. Soldiers practice fitting into the confined spaces inside the horse, while the entire Greek camp collaborates to ensure the plan's success. The soldiers chosen to hide inside the horse undergo rigorous training. They learn how to remain silent, move without making noise, and launch a swift attack. These soldiers, all under Odysseus's command, understand the critical importance of their mission. The interior of the horse is designed with small compartments for the soldiers to sit in. Each soldier knows their position and is ready to emerge quickly in an emergency. The dark, cramped space tests their resolve, but they remain committed to completing their mission. The Greek army pretends to retreat, leaving the wooden horse at Troy's gates. The soldiers hide inside the horse as the rest of the Greek army boards ships and sails away. The Trojans, believing the Greeks have finally given up, decide to bring the horse into the city. The Trojans are initially suspicious of the horse. Some suggest it might be a trap, but the majority celebrate the Greeks' retreat and view the horse as a sacred gift. King Priam orders the horse to be brought inside the city walls. The Trojans drag the horse into the city and hold a grand celebration. The city is filled with a festive atmosphere as people drink and dance. They are completely unaware of the danger hidden within the horse. The Greek soldiers hidden inside the horse wait silently. They bide their time, hoping the Trojans will fall asleep. Despite the tension, they encourage each other and hope for the plan's success. They can faintly hear the sounds of the Trojan festivities. As night deepens, the Greek soldiers inside the horse start to move quietly. They open the hatch of the horse and slowly emerge. They survey their surroundings with cautious eyes, waiting for the right moment to strike. The Greek soldiers stealthily make their way to the city gates. They avoid the guards and open the gates to allow the returned Greek army to enter. Troy is caught completely off guard by the sudden attack. Once the gates are open, the Greek army pours into the city. They brandish their swords, light torches, and prepare for battle. Troy is filled with chaos and destruction as the Greeks kill the men and capture or kill the women and children. The streets of Troy echo with the sounds of battle. The aftermath of the Trojan War leaves a lasting legacy for both the victors and the vanquished. The Greeks return home, forever changed by their experiences. The ruins of Troy stand as a testament to the cost of pride and the horrors of war. The returning heroes find their kingdoms altered and their lives forever changed by the war. Their deeds are sung in tales, and their stories are remembered for generations.